in this century and era now is property or real estate related business. And this is something that is now a common trend, or one business which you can easily cash out. Like people would people will always say they want to cash out. So one business where you can easily cash out stress, like without much stress, is in the real estate company, real estate sector. So when you talk about real estate or property company, what basically this kind of business are into, what their business is basically revolves around selling of land, selling of properties, and brokering transactions between people who want to invest in property transactions, or it even involves leasing apartments. So this kind of business, you may not need to, for some part of it, for some part of the business, you may not need to have this, like these properties, like what. So let's say, for example, you want to go into the business of selling land. You need not have a land in your own name, but you can have someone, you can know someone who has a landed property, and all you need is just to broker the relationship between the landowner and the prospective buyer. So doing this, you make your money or your percentage profit on the transaction. So this is something, that's why I said it is one business that you can easily cash out. And a lot of people do this, or majority, or like we have a lot of people who carry on this line of business. They know a landowner, they know someone who wants to buy land, and they bring them together and they tell you, oh, this is my commission. So if you are interested in business like this, so what we'll be talking about this afternoon is how you can structure it, because it is always good where things are properly done. So it's not just enough for you to keep connecting people together, you keep making money without putting structures in place. So because this because of the nature of this kind of business now, there are so many regulatory bodies or even provisions of the law that now provide for these property transactions or property related activities, because this is one business where huge sum of money, like you can imagine, for example, in Lagos State, you are negotiating or discussing land transactions. It is something that it's not just a regular transaction or normal day-to-day transaction, but it is a transaction that you need to execute them, you need to carry it on, you need to like have everything done in line with the various provisions of the law. And in Lagos State now, we now have a latest development which regulates real estate activities, and that is following by the passage of the new law by the governor of Lagos State. So now in Lagos State, even though it is something that has been in place before now, but now it is more pronounced. There is now an agency, there is a law that now backs it up. We now have Lagos State Real Estate Regulatory Agency, LASRERA. So this agency now basically is saddled with the responsibility of supervising businesses that are into real estate activities. So under the provision of this law, it's no longer business as usual. So you cannot just sit in the confines of your room, you connect landlords or you connect tenants together, and you think that is all that needs to be done, because the law now provides for how these real estate activities, real estate business needs to be carried on. So this afternoon we'll just be looking at various structures that are in place for people who are into property related business, or for anyone who is watching us this afternoon and you would like to go into the real estate space or the property transaction space. So I believe that at the end of this section you find this video very helpful, and you'll be able to pick one or two things and add up to the knowledge you already have on property transactions or real estate business. So to start with, if you are looking at starting a real estate business, what is the first thing that you need to do? Because like I said, some real estate business is something that you can do without even having, you may not have to, you may not need to set up an office space. And we have a lot of people that, even students, when we were in school, I remember when we were in school, we have students who knows them. Once they discover that, or once they get to know that, oh, a building is being constructed for student hostel, student apartment, they negotiate with the owners of the property. They get students into the premises and into the building. Once the building is completed, they get students into the building, get their commission, and just students. So it's something that even as a student you can start small. You can you can launch yourself into the real estate world. But then it is always good to get things right. Don't just connect people, get your money, and that is all. So when you talk about real estate, like I said, real estate or property companies, it has to do with companies who are into the business of either sales of land, lease of apartments, or sales of property, developed properties, or property investment, anything that has to do with property, land and buildings. So this is what we mean by property companies for the purpose of our discussion this afternoon. So in Nigeria, real estate business is a very serious business now in Nigeria. And permit me to say again, in Lagos State, they don't joke with real estate transactions, because it is one business that you can easily make a good sum of money from. So it is one of the longest standing industry, and that is what I mean when I say that it is something that many people listening to this conversation, you might have at one time or the other you might not even have done it for profits making. Maybe you know a friend who needs a property, and let's say you're passing by a building and you saw to let, and you just link the person up. The person might have not even paid you your agency fee and all of that. You've just done that to save a friend. So it is something that's been in existence long ago. So it's not just a new line of business. So, and this industry is now a gold mine. So it's like gold now. That's why I said it's not something that people joke with, especially in Lagos. And I know it's the same in almost all parts of the 36 states of the Federation of Nigeria. So like anything that has to do with property, land, building, sales and all of that, it is something that everyone now takes very seriously, because you need not it's not something that you need to labor over, and you just make your money once you are able to find your way around the business. So how do you start a real estate business in Nigeria? How do you start a property business in Nigeria? So the first thing is for you to map out your business plan. So you need to know, this property business, what am I looking at? Do I want to go into sales of building, or I just want to limit it to lease transactions, like linking landlords to prospective tenants? Is that what I want to do? Or I want to go into sales of land. So this is where you have to either connect landowners to buyers, or you even acquire land and sell back in return, or you sell back to prospective buyers after a while. Because one thing about real estate business is that land is an asset that appreciates. So let's say you acquire a property, you acquire a land. This is 2021. You acquire a land January 2021. If you are selling that land, this is March now. If you are selling that land March 1st, you agree with me that you are not going to sell that land for the same amount you purchased, or you got it, or you acquired it in January, because land appreciates in value. So, and we've seen cases where, like in time past, people got properties for as low as, let's say, 10 naira, 50 naira, 500 naira, and you wouldn't want to imagine how much those lands is now worth in this age and time. So this is why going into this line of business demands that you know all the things that you need to know, the things that you need to do. If there are agencies where you need to register with, if there are licenses and all of that you need to get. So it is good that you have everything in place, so that you'll be able to effectively manage this business, because real estate business is not just a business that you just rush into, so you don't rush out of it. So after deciding on the kind of real estate activities you want to go into, is it sales of land, is it just that you want to assist people with leasing their property, or you want to just broker transactions, or you want to even do real estate investment, whereby you get investors, you acquire property, you develop, you sell, or whichever form of investment, or whichever way you want to carry on this real estate or property transactions. So after identifying this, then you need to come up with a brand name, because your brand name is what is going to use to identify your particular line of business. Because like I said, real estate business is not like a gold mine. So there are so many real estate entities out there. So you need to come up with a brand name that people would use in identifying your business. I wouldn't want to mention and some brands, so it doesn't look like I'm advertising. But if you want us to advertise, I can do that for you. Maybe you pay me for that. But we have a lot of real estate companies out there, and we service a lot of them too. So this is why you need to have a brand name, a unique brand name, something that people can use to identify your business. And I believe that even as this discussion is going on, you can imagine, or you can think of like at least 2-3 brand names, even as this section is going on. If you are following this section, you agree with me that at least while listening to me now, like 3 or different 4 real estate brand names has crossed your mind. So this is why you need to have a brand name for your business. So after coming up with a brand name, a unique brand name, a very beautiful brand name, so after coming up with that, the next thing is for you to register that brand name. You need to register the business name. So it's not just enough for you to have a brand name, then you push it out, you start your adverts, you go to meet people who, I have this brand, I'm into real estate. Then you push out banners for sales of properties or lease of apartment for people without registering your business. So you need to register the brand name to protect yourself. And what are the structures in which you can carry on real estate business? Remember I said that even if you are a student listening to this, you can start your own real estate company. So you don't need to, it's something that you can start small with. So you can either start as a business name owner, or you start as a limited liability company. So real estate business is something that you can start as a business name owner, a sole trader. So you can register something as simple as a business name. Then as time goes on, as you find your feet in the business, you begin to gain grants and all of that. Then you can convert to a limited liability company, whereby you can bring in other people with like minds. So you can even bring in investors, so that you be able to like expand the business on a full scale. So this is so after coming up with a brand name, the next thing is for you to register that business. And you can register your real estate business. You can register it as either a business name, or if you have partners, you can register it as a partnership business, or you can also register an incorporated company. You can incorporate a company, so a limited liability company. So having done that, after this, what is the next thing that you need to do? Remember, we're talking about structuring your property company. So after registering the business, what is the next thing that you need to do? So in one of our sister agencies, Accent Nominees, you can check it out on Facebook. We also talked about, we had a section some couple of weeks back where we talked about what next after business registration. So that video is something that you can also watch for you to have more detailed information. So after registering your business name as a real estate entity, or as someone who is into property related transaction, what is the next thing for you to do? So one of the things I'll talk about, like 2-3 things. So one of the things that you need to do is you need to register with SCUMO, That's the Special Control Unit on Money Lending License, an agency under the Economic Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC). So you need to register with Kumu. It is a requirement for you to carry on real estate business or anything that has to do with property related transactions. You need to register with Kumu. And for you to register with Kumu, for you to be registered with Kumu, you also need to undergo another registration, and that is REDAN. You need to register with Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria. You need to be a member of this association for you to even have your SKUMU. So you can see that all of these are tied to each other. So after registering your business, because for you to even have SKUMU, or for you to register with REDAN, that's Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, for you to register with them, you need to have your company incorporation documents or your business name certificate. So these are things that you need to put in place. So this is to say that you need to have your business registered, because if your business is not registered, you cannot register with REDAN. And if you don't have REDAN certificates, you cannot also register for SKUMU. So you see that all of these are tied together. So the documents that you need if you want to register for REDAN certificate, if you want to get a REDAN certificate or you want to register with REDAN, is you need to have your business registration document. So either business name or incorporated company, you need to have this document. You need to submit your company profile, which shows your directors or proprietors, the key personnel of the company. You need to have a bank reference or letter of introduction. I'm talking about getting your REDAN certificates now. You need your tax clearance certificate, and if it's a new company, you can also still apply for tax clearance certificate with the Federal Inland Revenue Service for new companies. Then you need to execute some forms. You'll be given some forms that you make the necessary payments to the association, and with that you are good to go with REDAN. So it is compulsory, it is expected that all real estate developers or people who are in the real estate sectors are registered with REDAN, because it is an agency that is saddled with the responsibility of supervising all real estate companies. So it is the principal agency and umbrella body that regulates real estate activities, both in the public sector and in the private sector. So this agency is one agency that you need to register with as someone who wants to go into real estate fully, or you have a real estate company. So if you are not registered with REDAN, it is expected that you register with REDAN, particularly as regards the fact that for you need to have your SKUMU certificate, and for you to get that SKUMU certificate, you need to have your REDAN certificate. So another agency that you need to register with is the Association of Estate Agents in Nigeria, and this agent also is the umbrella body that regulates real estate developers in Nigeria. So you need to register with this body. Then another very interesting one, which I talked about during the start of this section, is the Lagos State Real Estate Regulatory Authority. So this agency now, these authorities, if your real estate business is you operate within the shores of Lagos State. So if your place of business is in Lagos State, it is expected that you are licensed with the Lagos State Real Estate Regulatory Authority. So one beautiful thing about this agency is that you can even enlist your properties on the on Lastrera's portal. They have a website, so you can enlist your property there. It affords you, so once you associate yourself with this agency, it affords you the opportunity of enlisting your business, your property. So where you have land for sale, you have property for lease, you have buildings for sale. All of these you can enlist them on the Lagos State Real Estate Regulatory Authority website, and these afford you the opportunity for you to like market your business. So it is expected that in Lagos State, it is expected that you have a license to carry on real estate activities. So because the law says that you should not, or nobody is expected to carry on business of real estate in Lagos State unless you are licensed by the Lagos State Real Estate and Regulatory Authority. So if you don't have that license in Lagos State, you should not carry on the business of real estate, because it is now a requirement, a mandatory requirement, that for you to carry on business as an estate agent or a property developer, you need to be registered with the Lagos State Real Estate Regulatory Authority. Then it is also expected that you also have an ascertained business premises. So like I said earlier, before now people can just people do real estate business without having a structure, without having an office space. So I can just know, oh, my dad wants to sell this property, oh, I know friends who wants to buy, let me just connect them together, I get my money. So in Lagos State now, real estate business is now a business. Like, it's not just something you just do anyhow. So it's strictly monitored now. So you need to have an ascertained business premises. And I think one of the reasons why this is a mandatory requirement is because there are so many fraudsters out there, so many people that you can't really trace them. They come to you, they tell you, I have a property for sale. You meet, they show you the property, they even show you documents and all of that. Then you transact with them. After transacting with them, in few days or few weeks of taking possession, someone comes up and tells you, oh, this is my property, you are a trespasser. You try to locate these people that know where to be found, because they don't have a defined business address. So it is now a requirement in Lagos State that if you want to carry on real estate practice, you need to have an ascertained business premises within the state. So this is not to say oh, you have office in Ekiti State, you have office in Kaduna, or you have office in let's say Rivers State. No, you need to have an office space in Lagos State. So another requirement of this provision of the real estate regulatory authorities also that for you to carry on real estate business in Lagos State, you also need to register your business with the Corporate Affairs Commission. So you see that all of these agencies, they are all tied, like all these things, they are all tied to each other. So for you to register with this Lagos State Real Estate Regulatory Authority, you need to have your business registered. So it's no longer business as usual. So another requirement is that for you to also register with this agency, this real estate regulatory authority, it is also expected that you also should not just collect money. The way in which you charge clients now is now being regulated. So gone are the days where agents can now say, property agents will say, oh, you want to charge 50% on a transaction, or you want to charge 20%. So the law now stipulates that agency fee should not be more than 10% of the total rent collected on any transaction when it comes to lease of property. So this is to the essence of this provision is to stop the arbitrary charges by agents and all of that. So it's just to regulate these real estate activities and all of that. So talking about this agency in Lagos State again, it is also a requirement that as a real estate agent or someone who is into real estate business, it is not your duty to prepare any legal documents pertaining to any transaction handled by you. So the law now states that, like it emphatically states that, if you are into the business of real estate, any transaction entered by you, you should have it documented by a legal practitioner. So this is now the provision of that real estate regulatory authority in Lagos State. So you cannot, as a real estate practitioner, you should not prepare your tenancy agreement. So let's say you are in charge of a property, you are managing that property, you should not prepare tenancy agreement, you should not prepare contract of sale agreement, sale of land agreement, you should not prepare deed of assignment, deed of anything that has to do with the property you are handling. As a real estate practitioner, it is not your duty to prepare any legal documents pertaining to any transaction handled by you. So it is the law now mandate that it has to be a legal practitioner that should prepare the documents. So this is to let you know that as a real estate practitioner, you are not just doing business because you want to make profit, but it's just to let you know that there are some organizations, there are some entities that regulate, agencies that regulate real estate activities in Nigeria. So you don't just enter into the real estate industry without knowing the things that you need to do, or keeping yourself abreast of regulatory agencies that regulate this industry. So because the real estate industry is not just an industry that you just launch yourself into, you do business as you like, because when you are found in default of all of this, then you begin to acquire liabilities, and it is not good for your business. So it should be noted, or you should note, that for you to effectively carry on real estate business in Nigeria, you need to have your business registered either as a business name, or as an incorporated company, or as partnership in a partnership arrangement. Then after that, it is expected also that you also get your SCUMU certificate for you to effectively operate a bank account, because it is always easy for you to, so it is always advised, so it is good practice for you not to lump or merge money from your property transaction, because some of these property transactions, sometimes you act as brokers between the owner of a land and prospective buyers. And we've seen cases where the owner of the land appoints you as his or her agent, and the person tells you, oh, every payment, let it be made to you, then you remit it to me. So it is not good practice where these monies are paid into your account, and even for tax purposes, it is not good for you to have all of this money lump up in your account. So it's always good to have an account where property, like business transactions, where the money, everything in that account is strictly your business transaction. So it will help you to be able to structure taxes. Then having done that, so after registering with the Corporate Affairs Commission, the next thing you want to do is open a bank account. It is expected that you have your tax identification number, you register for it, and you also proceed to SCUMU to register with SCUMU. And for you to do that, I've talked about the fact that you need your REDAN certificate. So that's the Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria. They have a certificate you get. So you have to register with this agency. So, and I said that the advantage of registering with these agencies is that, one, you'll be able to list your properties on the designated portals and websites. So it's just like where your shares is on the list of stocks in Nigeria. So you'll be able to market this your properties even on their platform, and people will you have access to more customers, because people know that, oh, this is not just someone that is going to just elope into the hair like that. So you begin to build people's trust, and people will be able to like confidently deal with you, because now they know that, oh, this is not just someone that will appear in the day and appear in the night, then in the day person is no longer like is nowhere to be found. So when you register with these agencies, you'll be able to like not just protect yourself, but you also like it just so pushes you out there for people to know that, oh, this person is serious, this is not just a scam or a fraudulent person. Then you'll be able to build people's trust by being a part of these associations. And also, to being a part of these associations, you also have an opportunity to also have access to some grants or some privilege rights that are only enjoyed by members of the association. So this is why you need to register with this association as the real estate practitioner. So I believe that you've picked one or two things from today's conversation. If you have any question, you can drop it in the chat box and we'll get back to you. Thank you for joining us this afternoon, and I look forward to seeing you again next week Tuesday on Accent Realty. Do have a great day.